Hello and welcome to the third installment for the SEnukeX tutorials. In this video, we're just going to try and clear up some confusion about the diagram option here, the diagram designer in SEnukeX. It's an extremely useful way to organize your campaigns. It's extremely user-friendly after you get the hang of it. It is actually kind of weird because it's so simple, but it can actually be extremely complicated. So we're just going to go ahead and explain a few different scenarios here and how to use this diagram designer. Now, I'm sure that most of you have probably already played with the program. You've probably already played with the diagram designer, but you might not really be comfortable with it. So let's go ahead and start out right from the beginning, okay? So here's our normal interface with our diagram designer. So this is our money site. This is the site that we want to promote on Google, all right? So this is where you're, selling your product, or where you have your CPA offers, wherever. It's the website that you're trying to rank for. I think pretty much everyone probably understands that. Then obviously we want to create links to it. So what we can do is we can bring out some of these different modules here on the left-hand side, and they can create links. Well, some of them can create links to go to the money site here. Now, these strategies can get extremely complex, but it's always good to start off simple until you get the hang of it. So first, let's drag a social network out here. And let's also drag out a social bookmark module. All right. So now we have two modules out here, and we have our money site. Now, let's just start off simple. Let's say we were trying to use the program like the original SEnuke Legacy version. So let's say this is all going to occur in one day. So what we do is we would just use the simple link from the social network to the money site, just like that. And then with that, what's going to happen is the social network is going to run. It's going to create 22 sites, as it says up here. It's going to attempt to create 22 sites that will link to the money site. Now, if we were to run that today, it would make all 22 of them today. Now, if we want to use the scheduler, and let's say we wanted to submit that over 4 days. Okay, so our submission, the length of submission will be 4 days. It's actually going to delay the creation of the social network links over those 4 days. So it's going to kind of drip feed links to the money site, if you will. So instead of doing 22 of them in one day, it's going to do 5 or 6 of them every day for 4 days. Hopefully that makes a little sense. So it's drip feeding links to the money site if you schedule it to have a submission over 4 days. Now, obviously, you could make it over any amount of days you'd like to. If you wanted to, for instance, make it over 22 days, we have 22 links. So in that case, it would create 1 link per day. It would only do 1 social network site submission per day. All right. So it would only go to one of the social network sites per day to create a link. It would do that for 22 days, resulting in 22 links after the campaign is over. Now we can get a little more complicated. We're going to add the social bookmarks module into this. We're going to connect the social bookmarks module to the social networks module. So what will happen is, let's say we go back to the original scenario of all this. Let's say it's all going to run in 1 day. So it's once we finish creating this, we're going to run it, and that's going to be it. We're not going to spread the submission over any amount of days. It's just going to do it all at once today, basically. If we were to do that, it would create the 22 social network sites. Once it's finished with creating this 22 social network sites, it would then bookmark those social network sites. Okay, so it would first complete the social network sites. It would do all 22 of them. Then SEnuke would choose the social bookmark module, and it would bookmark the social network URLs that were created. Now, let's say we wanted to spread the submission over 4 days. Basically, what would happen on days 1 and 2, it would create the social network URLs. In this case, it would create 11 links on the first day and 11 links on the second day, since we have 22 social network sites, okay? Then on days 3 and 4, it would submit half of the social bookmarks on day 3 and then the second half on day 4. So it's not running one after the other every day. It's simply spreading the social network out over a period of a few days, and once that's complete and all 22 sites have been submitted, Then SEnuke will then do the social bookmarks over a few days. Well, this is where chaining comes in handy if we want to mix it up a little bit. Instead of doing one after the other, we can use what's called chaining to allow the social bookmarks to run every day, even though the social networks will be running periodically. All right, so let's see if I can set this to chain here. So what's going to happen, actually, you know what, I'm going to delete this link. I'm going to do it how I do it normally. So I just like to be a little organized. I like to have certain methods when I create these diagrams. Just it makes it easier for me to understand them. Basically, if I have a chain set up, it'll go off to the side of the module. If it's not a chain, it'll go down. I use that general rule when I'm creating my diagrams. But anyways, in this example, we have a normal link from the social network to the money site, and then we have a chained link from the social bookmarks to the social network site. So in this case, what will happen, let's say, for instance, we're just going to run this over 4 days, let's say. Okay. So through all 4 days, the social network is going to run. So it's going to create 5 or 6 social network sites per day. All right. So it's not running on only days 1 and 2 like in the previous example. It's now going to be running on every day of the 4 days. So let's say we're on day 1. It's going to submit about 5 links on that day. Okay. After those 5 links are submitted, then the social bookmark module will run, and it's going to bookmark the 5 links that were created that day. Then we get to day 2. We're going to create another 5 links, so links 5 through 10, let's say. And after that runs, the social bookmarks module will run again, and it will bookmark the links 5 through 10. On day 3, it'll do links 10 through 15. So the social network will do links 10 through 15, and then the social bookmarks module will run again on day 3 and bookmark the links 10 through 15. Day 4 would do 15 through 20, or, well, 15 through 22 if you want to be specific. And then after that, the social bookmarks module will run again to bookmark those links 15 through 22. So that's kind of how chaining is set up. Chaining basically tells a module to run every day throughout the length of the submission. Now you can change the length of the submission however much that you'd like. You could do it 2 days, you could make it 20 days. Okay, it just depends how many links you want to throw out there at once. I actually kind of like to think of it as link density. You know, if you want to do this all in one day, you're going to be putting, you know, like let's say just for example, you'd be putting 40 links out if you do something in one day, but if you spread it over 4 days, you're putting 10 links out per day over 4 days. It still results in the same amount of links, but the actual link density and the amount of links that you're putting out at one time is changing. And that's great because it reduces the red flags in Google. If Google sees a bunch of links created at one period of time and then there aren't any more links after that, that's kind of fishy to Google. So that's why it's good to spread your submissions out over a period of time. So with all that being said, I hope this kind of cleared up a couple confusing issues that some people were having, just trying to understand this diagram designer. Like I said, it's really user-friendly, and it is simple, but it can be a little complicated when you start to overthink it. So my suggestion is just play around with it. I mean, make a bunch of campaigns, you know, go ahead and figure out how it works. I'm a big fan of, you know, learn by doing. So just starting up SEnuke, and you can't really break a website by, you know, putting links to it. So just mess around with it, get used to it. Until next time, have fun.